Hi, I'm Steve, you are you, welcome to the Digiverse. Today we're going through an SEO action plan that I've come across. Um, so there's lots of interesting information in there that I'm just going to go through and explain what it means and give my opinion on what I think of it. So the first deliverable we've got is a site audit. So a site audit is basically just when you go through and look at the website from a technical perspective, from an on-page perspective as well, to see whether or not there needs to be any improvements made to the technical side of the website or to the on-page side of the website. So when I'm talking about one page, I'm talking about when people are looking at the site, they can actually see what's going on. And then when I'm talking about technical, I mean anything that people can't see that's underlying. So yeah, a site audit, absolutely. That's something that should definitely be done. Good, we're off to a good start. Keyword research, definitely something that should be looked at. Figuring out what people are actually searching for and then tying pages to those, which is the next one. So keyword mapping will integrate into this as well. Figuring out what people are searching for and then tying those to pages and creating new pages based on those searches that people are utilizing. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something that we should be doing. Google Analytics setup, definitely off to a good start. So awesome. Definitely should have Google Analytics. Definitely should set that up. It's more than just putting the tracking code on there. It's a matter of going in and doing conversion tracking as well, which is a little bit more technical. You might want to get your web designer to do that if you're getting a website designed. Or you can, I think there's people that actually do this now. It is pretty important, but you can get your SEO company to do it as well. Google Search Console, yes, definitely need that. That's how Google communicates with you. It tells you what's going right with your website, what's going wrong with your website, as well as there's query data in there as well. So you can actually figure out how people are finding you through those keywords. So the next deliverable is goal page setup. I have no idea what this is. No idea what goal page setup is. I think they might be talking about conversion tracking there, but I'm not sure. Moving on from that. So first cross of the day is goal page setup, geolocation setup. So I think that what we're talking about there is location page. I hope. Maybe they're talking about Google Business Profile. Don't know. URL mapping. So I think that we call this something else. We call this information architecture. So it's basically looking at how the pages are all set up and going from there, figuring out whether or not the user experience as they navigate through the website is good or not. Another tick, great. Robots.txt. So this is not a deliverable. This is a thing that exists on your site, and basically, let's give them a little bit of credit. Maybe they're setting up the robot.txt file so that they're blocking pages that they don't want to be looked at by Google. So there are some pages that you're not going to want Google to look at. They're pages that you don't want them to be to show up in Google. You don't even want Google to go there at all. So that's what the robots.txt file is generally used for from an SEO perspective. Give them the benefit of the doubt here and say, look, yep, absolutely. Robots.txt is something that should be set up. We should be blocking pages that we don't want Google to see. URL rewriting. So this is what we call URL optimization. So we want to shorten the URLs where possible so that they make sense. They're not going to be a whole heap of gobbledygook or dates dates are generally not a good format. We want to basically optimize those URLs. So yeah, another tick for them. Competitor analysis, great. We should be looking at what the competition is doing and making decisions around how we're going to move forward. So yep, good. Sitemap.xml. This is something that it's not really a deliverable either. So a sitemap is basically the all of the pages that are on the website. So the .xml part is the robot version of that. So it's good that they are creating that. Most of the time, if you're using WordPress and you've got Yoast or Rank Math, it will automatically create that for you. So there's not really anything that goes into here. And what they should be doing is putting that into Google Search Console, which they've already said that they're going to be setting up Google Search Console. So they should be doing that as part of that, not as a separate deliverable. Then we move on to the on-page elements. So they're going to deliver on metadata. So this isn't really something that you deliver, but it's more something that you change. So metadata is basically the titles and the descriptions that show up in Google's search results page. You can actually change those, and you should be. If you're using Yoast or Rank Math, you can do this yourself. But basically it's just a matter of making sure that the title makes sense, it addresses the focus keyword for that particular page so that people in Google know what that page is about, and then writing a description that is click-worthy, that people really want to click on the page to go through and see what it's all about. Heading tags. So yeah, they should be structuring content. Another tick. So heading tags are really important, especially the heading 1 tag. So that heading 1 tag should be the title that comes up in the page itself. It shouldn't really be used anywhere else. It can be, but it generally holds the same weight. So if you've got 2 heading 1s on the same page, then Google's going to read those as having the same meaning. So you really need to differentiate the title from the rest of the content, and you do that through the heading 1. Image alt text optimization, yep, absolutely. Alt text is, image alt text is there for accessibility, so people will use screen readers if they're not able to see the screen, and so alt text is basically what the screen reader goes through and reads. Half of the time SEO companies will throw keywords in there. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Internal linking, yep, absolutely. You should be linking the pages of your website together. Awesome. Content optimization, yes, absolutely. We should be optimizing content so that it's related to what people are searching for, that we're making sure that there is a heading structure in there, that that metadata is in there, that it's readable as well. So instead of having a massive wall of text, we're actually breaking that content down so that it's easier to read. Even in some cases, reducing the style of writing as well, so that it's less academic and more something that's more at a high school level, so that a wider audience can understand that content. Link title text, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what they would mean there. Link title text, maybe anchor text, which is where basically you've got a link going from one page to another one, and the text that is the linking text, I guess that's what they're talking about, is traditionally called anchor text. Duplication check. Okay, yep, fine. We don't want duplicate content on there. Let's move on. Rich snippets, yep, so we've got schema data or structured data, whatever you want to call it. These help to get rich snippets, which if you just go to Google and type in any sort of recipe, then you'll start to see these little cards come up which have the recipes on them. You can click on them and it'll quickly give you brief information around what that recipe is. Those are rich snippets. So you can actually get into Google for those. You do it through structured data. So yeah, you don't necessarily do rich snippets, you do structured data, but let's move on from there. Address tag recommendation. I have no idea what that is. I guess that, like, the address? Is this another URL thing? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Canonicalization, yep, absolutely. Canonicalization is where you're basically saying this page is the source of truth. Use this page first, and any other page that has the same content on it is a duplicate and should be treated as such. So yeah, it is important to canonicalize your pages, so good. Twitter card integration, this is just automatically done half of the time. This is, yeah, really old school terminology is, yeah, Twitter card integration. Moving on, so technical optimization, we've got broken link check. Yes, we should be checking for broken links. We've got custom 404 error. So you can have a custom 404 error. Generally, you want to be redirecting those 404s, or if it's not, if the page is relevant and it's just missing, then you should replace that page. But yeah, you can have a custom 404 page. So 404 is basically just an error saying that the page was not found. Crawl errors, yeah, great. We want to pick those up. 301 redirects, it's not really a deliverable. A 301 redirect is something that you look at and go, okay, well, why is that a 301 redirect? Why are we redirecting that one page to another page? Is there a better way of doing this? Do we need that 301 redirect? Or the other thing that we do is look at the 404 areas and go, okay, do we need to redirect that page to another page because we're not going to create a new page for that? Page load time check, yeah, great. We should be fixing those. We shouldn't just be checking it. Mobile optimization recommendation, all right. If there are any errors with the mobile version of your website, stop everything, go back to your web designer and get them to fix it, because it's not a thing that you can just sit on. Mobile is really important. People are using it every day. You need a you need a responsive website. W3C validation recommendations. All right. So W3C validation is basically, it's the World Wide Web Consortium. So it is it used to be more important than it is today. I think that it's still worth checking, but we don't. So basically it's how you check your code, whether or not it's good. So you can put your code into this validator and you can check to see what errors there are, what warnings there are, and how to fix those various different things. Most of the time people will be using WordPress, or they'll be using a web builder like Wix or Webflow or what have you. It's become almost redundant, so the fact that it's here is... Anyway. Cross-browser issues, yeah, we should be checking for cross-browser issues. If it doesn't work on Bing, but it does work on another browser, that's a problem. If it works on Chrome, but it doesn't work on Safari, that's a problem. Like, we should be checking cross-browser issues, that's good. No follow tags. Cool. Why are we even bothering with that? So no follow is basically a thing that you put in so that when Google's robots come in, they get this directive to say, do not follow this link. Google has said many times that they choose whether or not to follow the link, but half of the time they will follow it anyway. This is really old school stuff, and it's completely irrelevant. I wouldn't waste any time checking on that. And if we're on the website itself and we've got no follow links on there, then it just means that we're not following the links off to someone else. So it's not something that's really going to affect their SEO. It's just because people don't really understand this stuff. It's one of those things they go, oh yeah, you got to do the no follow tags. And then they've got link building. So we've got classified submissions. No. Do not do this. Right, so classified submissions is basically when you go to Craigslist or any other American classifieds thing and you do a write-up and you put an ad in there with a link back to your website. Don't do it. Social bookmarking, don't do that. No, that worked really well in 2014, 2015. We're not in 2014, 2015 anymore. Do not do that. So social bookmarking was basically you would go to, there was this site called Delicious where you would put your website in there. There were a lot of other ones as well. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. Business listings, yes, great. So you should be claiming those relevant listings, those relevant citations. So you should grab Yellow Pages because believe it or not, some people do actually still use that. I don't know why. You should grab Yelp. You should grab anything that's local. So for us, we've got, we do a little bit of work in Brisbane. So we've got the Brisbane Small Business Portal. We're in Toowoomba, so we've got toowoomba.com.au and Toowoomba Darling Down. So we grab those ones because they're relevant, but we're not going to go out and grab like Fireball or anything like that because people just don't go to it. It doesn't make any sense to grab a directory that doesn't have any merit. Image submissions. Why the hell are we doing this? So image submissions, basically you take your image and you put it into free pics and all these other places where you basically have those images linking back to your website. I mean, this stuff does still work, but it's not proper SEO anymore. Profile building. Are they talking about social media here? Yeah, grab your social media. Do that. Yeah. Even if you don't use Twitter ever, grab it so that no one else can. Even if you don't use Instagram or TikTok or what have you, then definitely go in and grab them anyway. That way people cannot go in and grab your stuff. And if you do in 5 years' time and 10 years' time decide to go in and start using these things, then you can, and you can use it on your brand name. Content strategy. Okay, yep, we should be doing a content strategy. Absolutely, completely agree with that. Content creation for SEO purposes, no. We should be creating content for visitors, not for SEO, for visitors. And then the SEO follows. But anyway, it's good that they've got content strategy and content creation in there. That's really good. Forums and answers, no. Nope, don't do that. Don't waste your time. So basically, forums and answers, it's like going to Yahoo Answers and Quora and Reddit and all these sorts of things. These are really good places to get traffic from, so it's not a bad thing, but I wouldn't waste your time in there for SEO purposes. Video submission, so that's where you go to Vimeo and these other ones, maybe YouTube and to a lesser extent. YouTube you would definitely do. Vimeo, maybe. Yeah, you wouldn't really waste your time there. Blog creation, okay, this goes back to content creation, so these are the same things. PowerPoint submissions, don't worry about that, that's so old. Blog submission, so this is where you used to do syndication. So syndication is basically you create a blog post and then you put it into a blogging platform, and then you put it into another blogging platform, and all of a sudden you've got all of these blog posts that are showing up all over the place, and they all look exactly the same. Don't do this. Just write your blog and then get links from elsewhere. Yeah, don't do that. Infographic submission. So basically it's the same as image submissions. You create an infographic and then you go and put the infographic on all of these various different image sites and infographic sites as well. That's very old school. Press release submissions, don't even get me started. Don't do that. Web 2.0, blog creation and submission. Do not do this. I'm not even going to explain what that is. That's just rubbish. Social link creation. No, don't. All right, local business submission. So we've already talked about this, but we've got Google local business listings and local business submissions. So they've actually got this. These are the same things, and it's also the same as business listings. So they're doing the same thing 3 times according to this. It's just, yeah. So there are some things in there that are really good, but the links that they're creating are rubbish. So this isn't going to do anything for them from a link perspective. And links are really important. It's how you establish authority with Google. And if you're doing trash like this, then Google's not going to push you for very long. You might trick Google for a little bit, but Google's sophisticated. They're going to either ignore it or figure out you're doing something that's manipulating their system and potentially throw you out. So yeah, that's a worry. All right, hopefully you got some value out of this. If you did, comment, thumbs up down below, hashtag SEO Jedi or whatever else, I don't know. This was fun. Thanks.